Something crazy is happening in the collector car world. While everyone's watching Ferraris and Porsches, tiny electric city cars are quietly exploding in value. We're talking about those quirky little EVs people bought as cheap commuters, the ones everyone thought would depreciate into the dirt. They're doing the exact opposite. In 2026, early mini EVs are selling for double, triple, even quadruple their original prices. That Honda E you could grab for 20 grand last year? Try 35 now. The Fiat 500e nobody wanted, suddenly worth more than when it rolled off the lot. Why? Limited production, pioneering tech, and collectors finally realizing these weird little electric boxes are actually historic. Today we're counting down 10 mini EVs that are rising in price faster than crypto in a bull market. Some you know, some will shock you. All of them are appreciating like crazy right now. Number 10. Honda E. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the Honda E. And yes, we're talking about that adorable retro-styled city car that Honda only sold in Europe and Japan. Original MSRP started around 35,000 euros, and early examples were selling for 18,000 to 22,000 euros just 2 years ago as depreciation hit hard. Fast forward to 2026, and the market has completely reversed. Clean examples with low mileage are now commanding 32,000 to 38,000 euros, with pristine first-year models pushing past their original sticker price. That's appreciation of nearly 70% in some cases over just 24 months. What's driving the Honda E's rising value? First, extremely limited production. Honda only built the E for 3 model years before discontinuing it, and total production numbers barely exceeded 30,000 units worldwide. Second, the design has aged beautifully. That retro-modern aesthetic with circular headlights and minimalist interior looks even better now than it did at launch. Third, it's genuinely fun to drive. With rear-wheel drive, 50-50 weight distribution, and instant torque, making it feel like a spiritual successor to the original Honda Civic. Collectors are recognizing the Honda E as a significant milestone. Honda's first ground-up modern EV design, and possibly their best pure driving EV, before they shifted to more practical crossover formats. The interior's 5-screen dashboard layout already looks like a period piece from the early 2000s, adding to its collectability. Values are climbing fastest for advanced grade models in white or black, especially those with the contrast roof option. If you own one, hold on to it. If you're shopping, act fast because knowledgeable collectors in Europe are hoarding these. Number 9. Fiat 500e is the third-generation Fiat 500e, the gorgeous retro-electric that Fiat launched in 2020 as their electric future. Original prices started at 34,000 euros for base models, climbing to 42,000 euros for the convertible variants. Here's where it gets interesting. Through 2023 and early 2024, these depreciated normally, with 2-year-old examples selling for 22,000 to 26,000 euros. But starting in late 2024 and accelerating through 2025 into 2026, values reversed dramatically. Today, those same cars are worth 30,000 to 35,000 euros, with special editions like the La Prima launch model and the 500e convertible pushing well past their original MSRP. The reasons are multiple. First, Fiat's electric future hit complications, making the early 500e models suddenly significant as potential collectibles if the brand's EV program contracts. Second, it's simply stunning to look at. The design perfectly modernizes the classic 500 aesthetic while looking distinctly electric. Third, limited North American availability has created U.S. collector interest in importing examples, driving European prices up. Most importantly, the 500e represents peak Italian electric style before the market shifted toward generic crossover shapes. It's small, stylish, impractical in the best ways, and absolutely joyful to drive around European city centers. Collectors are betting it becomes the icon of early 2020s electric city cars. Cabrio models are appreciating fastest, especially in pastel colors like the Launch Edition Mint Green. The three-door hatchback in La Prima spec isn't far behind. Build quality concerns that plagued early examples actually help collectors now, as documented service history proving those issues were resolved adds value. Number 8. Mini Cooper SE. At number 8, we have the Mini Cooper SE, Mini's first mainstream electric model based on the F56 generation hardtop. Original MSRP hovered around $35,000 to $38,000 in the US market, with UK prices similar in pounds. These depreciated aggressively initially, with values dropping to $19,000 to $23,000 by late 2023. But 2024 and 2025 saw a dramatic reversal, and now in 2026, clean examples are selling for $28,000 to $32,000. That's over 40% appreciation in roughly 2 years for the best examples. The Mini Cooper SE is rising in value because collectors recognize it as the last Mini that feels like a proper Mini before the brand went larger and softer. It's tiny, quick, handles brilliantly, and delivers that go-kart feel Mini built its reputation on. The electric powertrain actually enhances the experience with instant torque and a low center of gravity. Production was limited compared to gasoline Minis, with only about 40,000 units sold globally before the model transitioned to the new J01 generation. That limited volume, combined with Mini's devoted enthusiast community, has created genuine collector interest. Values are climbing fastest for iconic trim models with the premium interior package. Chili red and enigmatic black are the most sought-after colors, especially with the contrast white roof. The SE's E-specific yellow accent package is particularly desirable to collectors who appreciate period-correct details. Number 7. BMW i3, 2013 to 2022, especially late models. Number 7 is controversial because the BMW i3 had a 9-year production run. But hear us out. We're specifically talking about late production 1 to 2022 i3S, particularly the i3S Performance variant. Original MSRP for a loaded i3S topped $50,000. By 2023, 3-year-old examples were selling for $22,000 to $28,000, as the market punished them for limited range and quirky styling. But in 2026, those same cars are worth $35,000 to $42,000 for the best examples. Early i3S from 2013 to 2016 remained cheap, but 2019 to 2022 models with the 42.2 kilowatt-hour battery are appreciating rapidly. Why? The i3 was genuinely revolutionary. With carbon fiber construction, rear-wheel drive, and design that looked like nothing else on the road. It was also the last BMW that felt truly different and experimental before they shifted to more conservative EV designs. The i3S variant, with 181 horsepower and even more aggressive handling, is particularly sought after. Collectors are recognizing the i3 as a significant milestone, BMW's first serious EV, and one of the most innovative production cars of the 2000s and 10s. The design has aged into something that looks intentionally retro-futuristic rather than awkwardly dated. The interior's sustainable materials and lounge-like seating layout feel more premium now than when new. Values are rising fastest for i3S models in Protonic Blue or Fluid Black with the Giga World interior. The range extender models are actually less desirable to collectors who want pure EV's documentation. Proving the carbon fiber body has no damage is essential, as repairs are expensive and can crater values. Number 6. Renault Zoe, first generation. At number 6, we have the original Renault Zoe. And before you laugh, understand that this is a European collector market phenomenon that's spreading. Original prices started at €20,000 after government incentives, and these cars bottomed out at €4,000 to €7,000 in 2022 to 2023. In 2026, clean first-generation Zoes, especially late 2017 to 2019 models with the 41 kilowatt-hour battery, are selling for 14,000 to 18,000 euros. That's appreciation of over 150% in some cases. Yes, they're still affordable compared to other cars on this list, but the percentage gains are remarkable. What's happening? The Zoe was Europe's best-selling EV for years, making it historically significant as the car that brought electric mobility to average European families. First-generation models, especially early examples, are becoming recognized as pioneering vehicles worth preserving. Enthusiast communities in France and the UK are actively collecting them. More importantly, Renault's decision to discontinue the Zoe in late 2024 created sudden collectability. Production exceeded 300,000 units, but most were leased, heavily used, and ultimately scrapped when lease programs ended. Clean, privately owned examples with documented history are actually rare. Collectors are focusing on 2017 to 2019 R110 models with the ZE40 battery in limited or iconic trim. The intense specification with the Bose audio system is particularly desirable. Colors matter less than condition and documented battery health. Zoes with degraded batteries remain cheap, but examples with 85% plus battery capacity are commanding premium prices. Number 5. Volkswagen e-up, VW's smallest EV that nobody in America knows about, but Europeans are quietly hoarding. Original MSRP was around 26,000 euros, and values cratered to 8,000 to 12,000 euros by 2022. In 2026, clean examples are worth 17,000 to 23,000 euros, with the best late production 2020 to 2023 models with the larger 36.8 kilowatt-hour battery approaching or exceeding their original prices. That's over 90% appreciation for the right cars in just 4 years. The e-up is appreciating because it represents something increasingly rare. A genuinely small, simple EV focused purely on basic transportation. It's the antithesis of heavy, complex, feature-laden modern EVs. At just 1,235 kilograms with the larger battery, it's lighter than almost any other EV you can buy. The driving experience is pure and engaging in ways that modern EVs aren't. Production was extremely limited, with fewer than 50,000 units built over the entire production run. VW kept discontinuing and reintroducing it based on demand and production capacity, making it rare even when it was in production. The announcement that VW was definitively ending production in 2023 triggered immediate collector interest. Values are climbing fastest for 2020 to 2023 models with the larger battery in honey yellow or Costa Azul blue. The Mango Style Special Edition from 2022 is particularly valuable. Condition is everything, as many e-ups served as city car rental fleet vehicles and were beaten hard. Number 4. Citroën Ami. At number 4, we have something truly quirky, the Citroën Ami, that tiny quadricycle EV that doesn't even require a full driver's license in many European countries. Original price was just 6,000 euros, making it the cheapest new EV you could buy. Here's the shock. Early 2020 to 2021 Ami models are now selling for 9,000 to 12,000 euros in 2026, despite the fact that new ones are still available. That's 50 to 100% appreciation on a vehicle that's technically still in production. Limited edition variants like the My Ami Cargo and the Ami Buggy concept-inspired models are worth even more. Why is a cheap plastic city car appreciating? Because collectors recognize it as genuinely significant. The Ami democratized electric mobility in a way nothing else did, bringing EVs to teenagers, retirees, and urban dwellers who never thought they'd own one. It's a cultural icon in France and urban centers across Europe. More importantly, early production Ami models are becoming collectible as representative examples of a specific moment in time when manufacturers experimented with ultra-minimalist urban mobility solutions. The Ami's ridiculous design, complete lack of features, and 28 miles per hour top speed make it a period piece that's already nostalgic despite being just 6 years old. Collectors are hoarding first-year 2020 models in launch colors, particularly the two-tone combinations. The My Ami Cargo variant with doors and cargo capacity is surprisingly valuable. Documentation proving it's a genuine early production unit adds significant value, as later examples are mechanically identical but lack the cachet. Number 3. Smart Fortwo EQ Final Edition Smart Fortwo Electric Drive, sold as the EQ model in its last years before Smart's transition to a Geely partnership and move away from the two-seat format. Original MSRP was around 25,000 to 28,000 euros. These depreciated brutally to 11,000 to 14,000 euros by 2023. But in 2026, pristine final year examples are selling for 24,000 to 29,000 euros, essentially matching or exceeding their original price. Special editions like the Smart EQ Night Sky and the Edition 1 are worth even more. The Smart Fortwo EQ is appreciating because it represents the end of an era. Smart spent 2 decades defining ultra-compact urban mobility, and the final electric Fortwo models were the perfection of that concept before the brand pivoted to larger crossover EVs designed in China. It's the last true Smart, making it historically significant. Collectors appreciate the Fortwo's unapologetic commitment to being tiny and purely urban. In an era of ever larger vehicles, its 2.69-meter length feels like automotive rebellion. The electric powertrain suits it perfectly, with instant torque and a low center of gravity making it surprisingly fun, despite modest power. Production of the electric Fortwo was limited compared to gasoline models, with only about 80,000 electric units sold globally. Final year 2019 to 2020 models are particularly rare, especially in desirable specs like the Brabus tuned variants or the Cabrio body style. Values are highest for Fortwo EQ Cabrio models in prime or exclusive trim, especially in striking two-tone combinations. The Brabus tuned models with 92 horsepower instead of the standard 82 are commanding significant premiums. Documentation proving it's a final year build adds value. Number 2. Volkswagen e-Golf Final Generation. At number 2, we have the final generation Volkswagen e-Golf. And specifically, we're talking about the facelifted 2017 to 2020 models with the 35.8 kilowatt-hour battery. Original MSRP ranged from $31,000 to $39,000 in the US, with similar pricing in Europe. These bottomed out at $14,000 to $18,000 in 2023 to 2024. But in 2026, clean examples are worth $26,000 to $34,000, with the best SEL premium models approaching $40,000. That's over 120% appreciation for the best examples in just 2 to 3 years. The e-Golf is rising in value because collectors recognize it as the last of the normal EVs before everything became a dedicated EV platform with weird styling. The e-Golf looks like a Golf, drives like a Golf, and offers all the qualities that made the Golf one of history's best cars, except its electric and rear-wheel drive enthusiasts are converting them into surprisingly capable performance machines. More significantly, it represents the end of VW's conversion EV era before the ID series launched. The e-Golf was VW's testing ground for electric technology, battery development, and market acceptance. It's historically important as the bridge between VW's combustion past and electric future. Production was limited to about 145,000 units globally from 2014 to 2020, with the final generation 2017 to 2020 models representing only about 60,000 of those. US sales were particularly limited, making American market e-Golfs increasingly collectible. Values are climbing fastest for 2019 to 2020 SEL premium models in pure white or platinum gray With the driver assistance package, the 2020 model year is especially valuable as the final year before discontinuation. Documentation proving battery health above 85% is essential for top values. Number 1. Nissan Leaf. Our number 1 mini EV rising in price fast in 2026 is the original Nissan Leaf. Specifically clean, low-mileage examples from the later first generation, 2013 to 2017 model years. Yes, we're talking about the car that launched the modern EV era for mainstream buyers. Original MSRP ranged from $28,000 to $35,000. These depreciated catastrophically to $4,000 to $8,000 by 2020 to 2022, as range anxiety, battery degradation, and rapid EV advancement made them seem obsolete. But something remarkable happened in 2024 to 2025. Collectors recognized the first-generation Leaf as historically significant. The first mass-market, affordable EV that regular people could actually buy and use for daily transportation. It's as important to EV history as the Model T was to combustion automobiles. Museums started acquiring them. Enthusiast communities formed specifically around preserving early Leafs. In 2026, pristine first-generation Leafs with documented low mileage and good battery health are selling for $16,000 to $24,000. Launch Edition 2011 to 2012 models with excellent documentation are worth even more to collectors and museums. That's appreciation of 200 to 300% for the best examples. The key is condition and battery health. Leafs with degraded batteries remain cheap and plentiful, but examples with 10 to 12 bars of battery capacity, 80% plus health, low mileage under 50,000 miles, and documented single-owner history are genuinely rare and valuable. The market has split between used transportation and collectible vehicle. Values are highest for 2013 to 2017 SV and SL models with quick charge capability, ideally in pearl white or blue ocean metallic. Launch Edition 2011 models with sub 30,000 miles and original battery at full health are museum-quality pieces worth $30,000 to the right buyer. Documentation proving the car's significance, such as being an early delivery unit or having notable ownership history, adds substantial value. The Leaf's appreciation represents something profound. The market finally recognizing early EVs as historically significant vehicles worth preserving, not just disposable appliances. As the automotive world goes fully electric, these pioneering vehicles are gaining the same status as early computers, early aircraft, and other technological milestones that change the world. Here's the wild part. These cars are barely old enough to need their first major service, yet they're appreciating like vintage Porsches. The Honda E is 6 years old. The Smart Fortwo even younger. But prices have doubled in 24 months. What's causing this? 4 big factors. Limited production makes them genuinely rare. Battery degradation and accidents are killing off survivors faster than expected. Museums and serious collectors are recognizing their historical importance. And nostalgia is hitting ridiculously fast for the early EV era. But here's the real reason. Modern EVs are becoming boring. They're all heavy, expensive crossovers that look the same. These quirky little city cars from the early 2000s suddenly feel special, like we're already nostalgic for when EVs had personality. Own one of these? Hold it. Document everything. Service records, battery health, mileage, originality. Shopping? Move fast because collectors are driving prices up monthly. Will values keep rising? Nobody knows. But right now, we're watching modern cars become collectibles while people still daily drive them. That's unprecedented. The lesson: never assume something's too common or too new to become valuable. Significance beats age. These mini EVs proved electric mobility could work, and they did it with character that's vanishing fast. The smart money is paying attention, you should too. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more unexpected collectible stories. What mini EV appreciates next? Drop your predictions below.